Okay, so we have here our camera. First of all, let's remove the battery and push the button if something is going on. And we need to remove the front part here. So let's check where we can find when we have to use the screwdriver. Here, something down, on the side, on the back itself. I'm not sure I need to remove exactly all of them, but let's see. So first of all, let's try from here, side part, and let me see if this one, okay. Here. Okay, so let's try to remember also the position of the screw that we are going to remove. So let me put on the next mat, try to remember what can be the real position. Then on the front, nothing. Let's go on the other side. I hope it's in focus. Let me try to see. Okay guys, I hope that you can see everything properly. I'm now using an external monitor, and it should be in focus. Okay, so we have to remove the side one. Let's move to remove the back. I think I should buy an electric screwdriver, small one, to do this kind of operation. So if you have anything to recommend me, please write down in the comment below, or if any company, and let's move to the down part in the meanwhile, has something that want to promote, I will be happy to test it and review it in my channel. Okay, so we have removed the everything here. So now I have to understand how to open. Let's see if inside the battery compartment there is something. No, there is something inside here. I don't know if you're able to see, but this should just block the battery compartment inside. There is another small here. Let me try to remove this one as well, even if I'm not sure this should affect. Because this should remove only the cover, probably. Right. Okay, well, it's not a big issue. Okay. So we need now to try to open, avoiding to break it, of course. So it's blocked here. I need to understand why. Let's see if removing, okay, we have removed the top, sorry. Okay. And so let's keep this one here. Okay, we have inside another screw that we have to remove. Probably this one is blocking us from completely remove the front part. Okay. Yes, exactly. Okay, so you have this screw that you have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outside, and then you have to remove the top because there is one more here that here that you have to remove. Okay, so after we have removed everything here, we should be able to remove all of this lens because we don't need it, but we have of course to keep all the other mechanism. And in order to do that, we need to understand how to remove this part. Okay, we can start this, and we don't need. But in the meanwhile, let me show you. This is the adapter, and this is how we are going to paste it directly on the camera so that we can simply attach here our focusing ring for M42. And yeah, as you can see, there should be no issues of light leaking, so it's okay even if it's Canon to M42 and not a Nikon to M42, as I did before. Okay, so as I said, I need to understand how to remove this part without making any big problem. Okay, so when we turn this on, let's see if we open. Oh, okay, this one will be here. Take care when you're going to, exactly. Okay, as you can see, there's this small item here. I don't know if you will be able to see. Yes, that is simply the spring pushing the bottom that we will need later to extract the picture. So I need to figure out later how this part was fixed here, and then put the spring back. So let's try to avoid to lose this small part. And let me see, there's no explanation how to remove this one. So let's open, and so from inside we need to remove all this part because it's completely useless for us. So there are 1, 2, and okay, only 2 so far. Screw that we have to try to remove without breaking the camera, and that's a problem because I'm wondering that my driver is not small enough for this, so let me try another one. It's not easy as I said at the beginning, especially if you don't have the proper tool. This is not the best screwdriver ever, and we need to figure out how I can remove this part. Probably these screw here are not super necessary in order to remove the lens, but let's try. So one is gone, and I'm sure we don't need it. And this one's not moving. No, this one's not moving. So I need to find out a different way. I'm really wondering which is the best way to extend the lens here. Okay, let's try to put back the battery and turn on the camera to see if we can extend the lens here, and then we simply remove the battery. Okay, and then with the lens extended, remove the battery, and we need to understand how this works. So there is this things here that will focus the camera, and that will move here the sensor that probably will help to understand the focus. And if we open, we see that there is one more drive here. Sorry, inside that's a little bit difficult to see, but we need to try to remove it as well. So one solution probably can be if we can remove first all of this part, extract the lens, and put back this part here. I hope that it will not affect these things here that will help to move the film outside. I think it will not, so let's remove this part. Again, a good tool are of course the best for doing this kind of operation, but this is what I have so far, and I have to try my best in this way. This is a little bit difficult. Okay. Really try to pay attention. Damn it, it's so tight. Okay. Okay. Then we have one here. It's a little bit difficult. Even this one. This one I can't remove, and that's a problem. So let's try to remove the next one to see if in a certain way will help. Okay, this one we can remove it. Okay, and still we have this one that is not working. Believe me, it's really difficult one, this, but okay, it's gone. Okay, so I hope there will be no problem. Okay, we remove this part and surprisingly, okay, don't lose this. Surprisingly, okay, okay, we can remove this part too, and we need now to try to remove this that I don't know how it's blocked. Let me see if how much I can show you. Okay, so we need to remove this part and then put everything back, but to do this I'm worried that I probably have to force a little bit. Let's try shoot. Okay, so it works. You just need to force a little bit and pay attention to this stripe here that in a certain way is probably working to move the lens up and down. So we need to remove this one in a way that is not making any big problem, because we don't know if later the lens, the camera will detect an error and will not let us take a picture. Also, as you can see here, we have this square, right? In the first camera that I made, I left intentionally this square because I thought it was good and help or didn't affect in terms of vignetting, but unfortunately I had to remove later. So let's try to remove this one, not only because probably will help me to remove this cable here, but we can later see if we need to install back or not. Remember that worst case we can always put some tape, as I did also in the previous one, in order to cover any possible light leaks or similar. This one again is a little bit tight. Okay, so we remove and keep it, and we need, this one is going inside, so we need to remove this little screw here. It's difficult, of course. Fuji doesn't want to make you easily work and change anything. Okay, no, you don't need. This part is just snapped inside. So if you make pressure from here, you can remove it. And wow, there are so many circuits here. I'm worried that this will make some problems later if it's not detecting. I don't know, come out the error. I don't know, but in this case I wonder if we can even directly break it. Okay, the lens fold out. Let's remove this too, because technically this cable we don't need to have inside the camera later, because our lens is not attached anymore. We are using an external lens. So let me still okay. Did you notice how many screws are here? Okay, so I have removed it, but they are attached to the solenoid here, and solder as well. So I can only, yes, I can only break it, unfortunately. Really? Okay. We break it in not the best way, but we don't have any other option. Okay, let's hope that it will be not a too big deal. So that means instead of removing this one, and I also lose something. I hope no. I think we need to cut this one directly. In the meanwhile, let's put here and see if we can block with this. So how? Okay, so if you want to put back, you have to push, because there was this part that, as I said, help with focusing, but technically we don't need, so it's okay. And let's put this back. Okay, and then this one back as well. So in order to do that, this one, wow, so they are so greasy. Take care of that. And when you're going to reinstall this, okay, probably not this way. Okay, this start without problem, but it's not something that we need anymore. and we need to put this part back. Okay, and let's put all this screw here back. We have one here, I think. Okay. And then we had one here. This cable died. I wonder if this one was the one with the motor. Probably, no? Yeah, exactly. Should be the one that we had before. That is now a little bit in between the hole that I have to put the drive inside, the screw inside. So okay, let me remove this part. We will cut later. And then let me put back this too. And one more here. I really hope that you guys can see it, no focus issue, because make it again, it's kind of impossible. Okay, so so far there should be no problem, right? We have removed the lens that we don't need, so let's test again with the battery. So the motors here are working. Let's see if we put the button to push, it will help to move the things that should extract the film. And guess what? It's doing it. I don't know why. It's honestly not only noisy, but too long. Okay, let's remove the battery here and let's try to close it. But before doing that, we need to cut this part. So let me go to pick up a cutter to do this operation.